So in today's video, I'm going to be going over a little video tutorial of how I color correct. So as you can see, I have Premiere Pro pulled up with the still image of this ocean. So first thing you want to do just to get comfortable and get into the proper workspace, just go up to the Windows tab, which I don't have in frame here, but it should be up there. Hover over Workspaces, and then you can click on Color, and it'll bring up the color editing table. And as you can see, we have our editing options to the right. Let's go to the left, click on Lumetri Scopes. There it is, Lumetri Scopes. So the scopes just provide a reference point for your coloring. So as you can see on the left. So the key is keeping the colors away from the tops and bottoms. So for example, you can see the red at the bottom. You want to keep that away from the zero, and you want to keep the blues at the top away from the very top line. Because if either of these colors touch, or whatever touches goes past those lines, you will lose in the edit. It won't show up in the photo or the video you're trying to color correct or grade. Let's expand that a little more. Okay, so what I like to do is work my way from the top to the bottom, starting with basic correction. So we're going to go to the lighting section first, just below color, because the color portion is mostly correct and I don't want to alter any of that, at least for right now. Just go to contrast. So I want to increase the contrast a little bit. So I'm going to increase the contrast to about 37.5. I'm going to bring that up a little bit. And then right below that, I want to increase the highlights to, let's say, about 15. And we can actually enter in the value instead of using the slider. And I decided to increase it to 15 just to bring out some of the colors a little more, mainly being the blue. Next, I want to go down to shadows and decrease that a little bit, just to darken the image and bring up the other values. Next, we're going to adjust the whites, which is a very important part of color grading or color correction. Having the perfect white balance can really make or break the image or video. It's already preset to the value of, looks like 33.3, so we're going to bring it down just a little bit. And as you can see, the Lumetri scope is on the left. It's adjusting as we move the slider down. And that looks about right. Right below that, let's take away some of the blacks. And if you click on the FX next to Lumetri color, you can see the before and after we applied the color effects. Okay, now I want to come back up to this section, go to tint, and go just ever so slightly to the left to get a little bit more of that green added onto the image here. Then after that, come down here to curves. Now we're going to mess with the RGB curves or red, green, blue curves. So as you can see, this line is going diagonal from left to right. The bottom left controls the dark colors. The very tippity top right controls the white colors. And as you can see, we have the white highlighted just above the line. You see white, red, green, and blue. We have the white highlight. We're going to put a dot right here, move it down ever so slightly. One over here, upwards a bit, then one, the very last one. Bring that one up a bit. And as you can see, it does affect the scopes here on the left. So what we did right there is just brighten it up a little bit in different parts of the color spectrum. Now right below, we're going to go to hue versus saturation. Create our points or our range that we want to edit. Click right there, then to the right where the green is, and let's put one in the middle too. So we're going to bring down the reds, take away a bit of the reds. And if I go up and down, you can see how it changes things. But we want to bring the reds down here, just like that. And then the teal slightly down as well. Really trying to bring out the blues as much as possible. But then bring down the green on the right. So it really highlights those blues in the image. So by pulling those colors down, it really brings out the other colors above it. So I want to go below that. I'll edit the hue versus hue. I'll put a point in there to the light blue. Another one for there, the pinkish red. There. Right up here. So obviously I'm going to be adjusting the hue a little bit. So bring that one down. Like so. Just ever so slightly. The slightest movements will affect things. It might be hard to see it, but every square centimeter inch you pull down does affect it. So we're not going to mess with the hue versus luma. We're just going to go to color wheels and match. And then finally, I'm going to click down here to vignette. And then I'm going to slightly increase the amount, just a hair. And by doing this, it focuses more on the image. It really just puts more attention to the image. It sort of, you can see it sort of adds a little bit of darkness around it, just a tad. It does. And I also increase the feather a little bit to make it a little less obvious. And so let's expand the image a little bit. And then we'll see the before and after. After, before, after, before. And there you go. That is the basic process of how I color correct things. Sometimes it's more detailed, sometimes it's not. It just depends on the image and what you're trying to achieve. So I hope something was learned, and thank you.